I've been in Morocco now for 4 months, and I've been under quarantine for about a month and a half. And I've started to document my story here, and in this episode I'll be talking about what the quarantine experience has been for me like personally, and then it can also be a bit of a tour of my apartment. So when quarantine started and I first started spending a lot of time inside, started going up to the roof a lot to get some fresh air, but the first time I wound up getting myself into a pretty precarious situation. So I was coming up these stairs, and then I came through this door, and then without even thinking about it, I slammed the door behind me, but I'm not going to do it right now because what wound up happening was, and there wasn't this key here at the time, is it slammed closed and it locked behind me, and my house key doesn't actually work there. So then it was time to try to find a way down. My phone doesn't work for making outgoing calls, but I thought maybe I could yell out for help, but the problem is my Darija not actually that good. I also didn't see anyone around at the time, but I thought maybe I could climb down like the door frames and window frames and stuff, try to get down that way, but I didn't really see a route for that to do safely. And then I also don't have my permit on me, and so I didn't want to attract the attention of the local police because I need the permit to be on the outside of my house. So the solution would have to be to climb down on the inside. So there's this thing here, it drops down about 30 feet or 9 meters to an open air space next to my bedroom. In the construction stuff that's going on up here, I found this blue rope, and I took it and tied it up onto this iron bar, and then down over the side I went. It was a strenuous ordeal, and my only consolation was that at least I had my camera phone on me, so I could prove it to my descendants should I survive. So I got down all right, and I've been going back up to the roof ever since. But I leave the door open. The good news is, even if I were to get stuck up here, there's a couple people who come to check on me pretty regularly. One is my friend Hamid, seen here bringing me food for Ramadan. And the other one is my friend Majid, who brings me food for Ramadan every day. So Majid always brings me a traditional Moroccan soup called harira, and it has tomatoes, lentils, and chickpeas in it. So for tonight's iftar we have harira al-maghribia and simon shama. Let me just see if I'm saying that right.
Hey, it sounds like this. Simon, shama, or milwi.
Bismillah. If you have a good, authentic recipe for cooking harira al-maghribia on your YouTube channel, feel free to post that in the comments section, and you can promote your channel there. The more languages, the better, really. We've got a big audience here. So yeah, my friend Majid comes to visit every day to bring me food and tell me whatever news there might be around town. And he's an important person in my story. This is the kitchen, by the way. He's an important person in my story because he was kind of really the first friend that I made when I came to Ouarzazate this time. I met him when I was walking on my way to the concert the first night that I was here, and he has a shop at the antique market souk near the Casbah. So this is my living room and bathroom, and then this is my bedroom. So I picked this apartment because it has a washing machine and Wi-Fi, and I can meet people who work in cinema right outside my house in the street or at the cafes when they were open, that kind of thing. The cost for this apartment is $250 a month, and then I spend another maybe $100 on food a month. Though I was spending more on food before when the eateries were still open. Ouarzazate is one of the more expensive places to rent in Morocco, I believe. But the more you can become part of a community, the better of a deal you can get. So I feel really good about being here indefinitely, and I don't like to think about going anywhere else, since that's impossible right now and would only distract from the here and now. So when the shutdowns first happened, I was really concerned that everyone visiting from away might have to pack up quickly and head out. I didn't actually hear that our tourist statuses had been extended until about 10 days after the fact. So there was this chunk of time where I was pretty uncertain. Everything was up in the air, and my body was kind of just instinctually sleeping a lot, not knowing what was going to happen next. I was just like conserving my energy, I guess. It was sort of a mental funk, which maybe a lot of you can relate to going through this uncertain era. In any case, at the end of March, when I found out that I could stay, I was very relieved because I wanted to stick with the plan and see what happens. So in upcoming news, on May 20th, the protocols around quarantine will be updated, but my guess is this will be a slow and gradual process as the kingdom has been prioritizing health over the economy. So in my last video, I mentioned that I live alone, which is true with the exception of a gecko lizard who also lives in my apartment. And it only eats bugs, so it finds all its own food, and I don't bother it, and it doesn't bother me. But every once in a while I do have to pick it up. It gets itself into a place where I have to move it or something. And it genuinely doesn't seem to mind, and sometimes it doesn't want to let go. I don't really like confining animals, but having a free-range symbiotic lizard friend is a pretty good deal. I also started getting to know some of the local birds. There's a pair of storks nesting on top of the mosque, and another pair nesting on a cell phone tower, and then a third pair nesting on a cell phone tower farther away. And this whole time they've been building up their nests and flying out to the lake to catch fish and then bring that back to the stork chicks in the nest. There's also a pair of doves that likes to hang out on the corner of the mosque, as well as a pair of pigeons. And there's a sparrow that hangs out with me on the roof, and a dove that comes to visit from time to time. In other news, I think the next episode that I'm going to do is going to be an architecture edition, because that's something that I'm really interested in, and I think it tells a lot about terrain, climate, and culture. So I'll be doing that, and if you're enjoying my stories, thank you, and feel free to check out my channel for other video adventures. Thanks. So I was just coming down the stairs, and my landlord is here, and they're kind of redoing this closet, and there's all this jewelry for cinema in the closet in my house. It's pretty amazing.